In this video, we shall be developing the principal component analysis using STATA. And as you know, the principal component analysis is a statistical methodology that is used in order to make dimension reduction. And for this tutorial, we will use data set containing information on some individual, especially 12 individual with information in revenue, consumption, number of household members, professional experience, and the level of studies. So we'll use this data set in order to summarize information in individual, economic information on individual, and finally we'll show you how to use this information in order to create an indicator that will give us information about the level of the household. So we have 12 households, and we'll build the principal component analysis using STATA in order to build an indicator. So if the first time you are watching one of my videos, do not hesitate to subscribe and activate the notification bell in order not to lose the next video. So coming back into our principal component analysis, to run it in STATA is quite simple. Just go in statistics, then drop down to multivariate analysis, and then factor and principal component analysis, and then finally choose principal component analysis. Click on OK. And the next step is to select a variable to include in the PCA. So the first variable will drop individual, will use revenue, consumption, expenditure, number of household member, professional experience, and level of study. Those 5 variables will be used in our principal component analysis. So as we have selected all our variables, we just need to click on OK, and you will see the principal result of our principal component analysis, especially eigenvalue table and vector coordinate in the 5 principal component. So as we can see that our first component represents almost 70% of information contained in our sample. The second component have 10%, and the cumulative proportion is 90%. So if we use the Kaizen criteria, we will keep axes that have at least the mean proportion. The mean proportion is 100 divided by 5, that is 20%. So we keep axes that contain almost 20% of information in a sample. So we will keep the first and the second component in order to make our principal component analysis. So further information we can have on our principal component analysis, for example, eigenvalue plot. So we go in statistics, then multivariate analysis, and then click on multi-factor and principal component and choose post estimation. Then can choose screen plot of eigenvalues, then click on OK, and we can see that the screen plot of our eigenvalue are there. We can also have some post estimation information in multivariate analysis, factor and principal component analysis, post estimation. We can have variable plot. So in graph that we plot all our variable in the first 2 components. We can choose 3, but we keep the by default value of the first two components. We represent our individual in the 2 components that are most important to represent our individual, and we can see the scatter of our individual that is represented here. So the most important information that I wanted to show you is how to use your principal component analysis in order to build an indicator based on just those data. So we'll go on statistics. First predict our principal component data coordinate of our individual in the principal component. So we'll go in statistics, go to post estimation, click on post estimation, and then we'll select predict. We'll predict score variable, fit value, and residual. So we will select predict, and this case we will predict principal component 1, PC1, and principal component 2. So we'll select the first 2 components because our eigenvalue distribution using Kaizen criteria show that we can just use the first 2 components in order to summarize our information. So we'll use just the first 2 components in our analysis in order to build our indicator. Let us first predict our first 2 components that are coordinate of our individual in the 2 components. So then click on OK, and we can see that 2 variables have been generated. The variable on individual representing the score of our individuals in the component. So to build our indicator, we will just calculate a new variable that will be a mean of our first 2 components, and the weight of our mean will be percentage of our component divided by the sum of percentage contained in the first in the axis that will has been choose to be used in our analysis. So we have chosen the first 2 components. So our indicator that I will call ID. So I will generate the variable called ID, that will be equal to our first component multiplied by the weight. The weight will be 0.7977 divided by the cumulative percentage of first two axes, which is 0.1990 multiplied by the PC1 plus weight of the second component, which is the percentage of the second represented by the second axis, which is 0.1990 negative 0.7977 divided by the cumulative percentage of the two axes, which is 0.1919. All this will be multiplied by the PC2. So then we click on OK, and we can see that our index has been generated. We can label it, and for now we'll keep it, and the indicator that will have been calculated as we can see in our data can be used in order to compare our individuals, so that the individual which have the higher index will be the household with better condition. So in our database we can see that the individual that has the highest index is the second individual, and we can see that revenue is very high compared to the other, and we can see that this household have higher consumption, and number of member in the household is very slow. So it's the household that is having a good performance in terms of social level. That's it for this tutorial, and we hope it have very well help you understand how to run principal component analysis in STATA as well as indicator building. And if you have not yet done so, do subscribe to the YouTube channel and activate the notification bell in order not to lose the next publication, and let us see you very soon in a new video.